Council. I do appreciate it. So then we're moving back to agenda number 8, Ordinance 8.1. These are our second readings. And Ms. Pasolay, would you please read Ordinance 8.1, please?
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance of the City of Leon Valley City Council amending the general fund of the City of Leon Valley, Texas municipal budget for fiscal year 2017-2018 in the amount of $20,000 to provide proper funding for the general fund, providing for repealer, severability, and savings clauses, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Kinsler, do you have any new information for Councilor on this? This was our second reading. To update this particular...
Mayor, Council, I do not.
Okay. Then I do have, before we actually consider the vote, I did receive comments a couple of days ago from our resident, Olin Yarnell, in Leon Valley, Texas, and I'd like to read it. He's asked me to read it. He's not here today. And he says, I wish to come before you all to discuss the above listed agenda item 8.1. The reason that I've chosen to come before you all in letter form this evening is due to the nature of the recent video postings I've witnessed on YouTube, RE, the City of Leon Valley, combined with the fact that I'm currently under a criminal investigation by the City of Leon Valley, see attached November 2017 letter, which I don't have the attachment, I'm sorry, which leads me to fear that I might not be allowed to return home after this evening's meeting if I attended in person. Accordingly to tonight's agenda, this will be the second reading for item number 8.1, which according to the above referenced July 9th Leon Valley City Council meeting seems to somehow be tied together with item number 4 of that meeting, and as the agenda indicates, was discussed in executive session. As I read over these two agendas and try to figure out what this is all about, using only the publicly available information that has been provided by the city, I find the task to be somewhat beyond my ability to comprehend without receiving some additional information. So therefore, the reason that I'm sending you this letter of inquiry. Question number 1. If the City of Leon Valley is going to conduct an internal investigation, why is it going to cost us, the city, $20,000? Question number 2. If the subject and the reasons for this investigation were discussed in an executive session, then how is the City Council going to be able to conduct the city's business in an open and transparent manner if the full details and reason for the budget adjustment required, which seems to be excluded from the packet from tonight's meeting, are not discussed in an open session before the vote is taken? Question number 3. If it is decided by a majority vote of the City Council that this investigation is needed and is necessary, would it not be possible for the city to enlist the help of another governmental entity, such as the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, or maybe the Office of the Texas Rangers, or perhaps solicit bids or request RFPs to see if it can be accomplished for less than $20,000? When one reviews the above highlighted sentences from the Leon Valley July 9th meeting, it is easy to see that they are combined, tied together, which would seem to be placing you all in a bit of a quandary as you seek a solution to the perceived problems. But as you review the subject and make your decision, a few things must be remembered. Our Leon Valley employees should always be treated with respect and dignity, and they must be accorded procedural due process at all times, and that the spending of the Leon Valley citizens' tax dollars must be accomplished in an open and transparent manner. In closing, I ask that this letter be read in full by the mayor at the appropriate time in the meeting, and that it and the attached letter be displayed on the council chamber video screen. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. During the time of the reading and the discussion, and that it and the attached November 17, 2017 letter written by the city attorney be included in their entirety in the minutes of this meeting. I thank you for your service to our city and will be looking forward to the detailed copies of the minutes of this meeting to receive the answers to my questions. So, Ms. Kinsler, can you address these questions? Would that be appropriate?
The majority of the questions, no, it would not be appropriate. What I can tell you, what you already know, is that this is a departmental investigation that involves personnel matters. Personnel matters can be held in executive session per the law of the state of Texas. There's not a problem with doing that. Certain deliberations about officers or employees of a governmental body can also be held in executive session unless the officer or the employee requests that the deliberations be held in open session. Since the officers or the employees involved in this matter did not request an open session, then the discussions and the deliberations are confidential. Therefore, it's perfectly legal for you to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters. If there's an action taken after the executive session, then it has to be done in an open forum. But that's absolutely an exception to the open rules meeting, is a personnel matter, which is exactly what you did. Any information that we can release to the public by law, we certainly will once this is conducted. But personnel matters in general, you don't release them.
Okay. Okay, I understand that. Okay, and as far as the question, could the $20,000 have been, or could that amount have been reduced if we went to another agency? That was another question. Texas
Our
Rangers
concern in going to another agency is because of the ties to other agencies, and we wanted an independent investigation where nobody knew anybody. And definitely we could not have gone to a law enforcement agency for this, no.
Okay.
And so in effect, it was another agency.
It was, no, it was somebody that had come from another agency, absolutely, but he had just retired. He had come from 3 different agencies, 3 different fire departments where he had been the chief.
And outside.
Yeah, absolutely. It was somebody from the outside that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And this was a time sensitive. This had to be done quickly, is what
time sensitive because there's safety issues that are being questioned, and we want to ensure that our employees are safe at all times.
Okay.
So when a safety matter surfaces, it absolutely becomes time sensitive.
Okay, so this $20,000 is going to cover the cost of this investigator, his time, and expenses,
And travel expenses.
and travel expenses and a report for about 2 or 3 weeks. Would you say, or it was yeah.
But we're still working with him, but he's not charging us anymore. So we're up to 3 weeks for sure.
Okay, all right. So, all right. Anything else that I didn't? I want to be sure that we've tried to answer as clearly and as openly.
Question about bids. I mean, I would think that was part of what you read.
Right. We didn't have time to go for RFPs, right, because of the safety issue?
It's the amount. You don't have to go for an RFP when it's under $50,000, number one. Number two, because it was a safety issue, we wanted to find a trained expert that could come the following week. So just started making phone calls to see who we could get.
Okay.
All right. All right. Anything else? Yes, Councilor Martinez.
The only objection I have is I believe as a policy board, we should have been brought in before rather than after the fact. That's all I have to say.
So unfortunately, a city manager has the authority to do a contract up to $50,000 with or without the council. I wanted the council, number one, to be involved. Number two, I wanted to make sure that we were being transparent with the council on what was happening. And number three, instead of trying to go and gather the money from each department at the end of a fiscal year, I thought that this was a very appropriate expense given that we had people's, possibly their safety in danger. So approve it or not approve it, it's really irrelevant. We'll just go into the general fund and we'll start getting from, we'll start taking from other places and reducing other projects. It's already been done. It had to be done it had to be done. And I explained in executive session to you why it had to be done.
And so this money would come from the general fund rather than from each pockets of money in a department, is what you're asking for.
I'm trying not to affect all the other departments
I
by what
understand
happened.
that. Okay. All right. Anything else? Yes.
Councilman Jordan submitted
Okay,
a comment.
please. Thank
I
you.
have reviewed the request and I am aware of the reasoning. I thank the city manager for coming to the council to advise us of this expenditure because technically she is authorized to approve funds exceeding the $20,000 requested tonight. I agree this budget adjustment should be approved.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else?
Excel is amazing.
I move that we approve it as requested.
And I second.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilor Alcacer and a second by Councilor Rodriguez to approve agenda item number 8.1 as presented with the budget adjustment of $20,000. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry.
Thank you.
And I don't believe Mr. Jordan can vote from afar. Is that correct? Or can he?
The
Yeah, I
comment
didn't think he could, but I mean, we did get his comments can be part of the record.
Learned how to use Excel.
Yeah.
Mayor
Skype
and council,
and-
if he was on teleconference.
Skyping, he could,
Skyping
right,
in, he
exactly.
could have, but
Okay, I just
Not
wanted
like
to
that.
clarify that. Okay.
FaceTime or,
And thank you, and, you know, and I guess, this-
FaceTime or
I think,
Skype,
I think we're all
whichever.
seeing this evening how you can communicate with council during or prior to a council meeting, so please use Excel, use the email, get your thoughts and comments to the council, and we'll be more than happy to share those if you're not able to be here. Okay? Thank you.